What's up, welcome back to Nowstalgia. Dave here with a concert review of Niki's Buzz Tour. I saw Niki perform in Boston at MGM Music Hall. That was night 2 of the Buzz Tour, which is Niki's largest tour of her career to date, just kicking off in North America this month. Will go around the globe into next year. And of course, this is in support of her latest album, Buzz, an album I absolutely loved and reviewed as well. Check the link below if you missed that. I had never seen Niki before, but as a big fan of her music, I was very much looking forward to seeing her show. And honestly, I gotta say, Niki was excellent live, and I think one of the most favorite things that you can experience at a concert for me happened seeing Niki's Buzz Tour, which is the fact that Niki, in the presence of a live band, songs of hers that I don't necessarily love as studio recordings actually sounded better, sounded more fun and more engaging in a live experience with that band. I think that's just the best possible thing where the music is even better live. Niki actually made a point of saying that this new album was written and created to be performed. You could totally get that vibe, but honestly, that was even the case for her older music as well. Overall, it's a 90-minute show. She does about 23 songs, give or take. And from what I've gathered, since the Toronto first show and me seeing the second show, the set list at least has a little bit of variability. Like, obviously, you can look up the set list at this point. A lot of this sequence is pretty locked down. But there does seem to be some things she's switching up, show to show, which is, of course, fun and something that's come pretty in vogue lately. Look at the Eras Tour. It's a way to get your fans to engage in the tour, day to day in terms of figuring out what changed, what was different, right? The Boston show, funny enough, the track 8 or so, Niki played Strong Girl, and she introed it by saying that that's actually a song she started to write last year when she was in Boston playing at a much smaller venue, the Royale. And she was having a difficult time and just kind of put pen to paper and started to make that song. Pretty cool, Boston performance specific anecdote. Overall, it was really fun to just go to the Niki show because no one's casually going to her show, I would say. She is famous and successful and is doing great numbers and is a big artist at this point. Obviously, look how big this tour is going to be. But everyone there was a big fan of hers. So a lot of the big songs were really big in the room and really popped. Track 3 was Back Burner, which is one of her biggest hits in terms of streaming numbers from her album Nicole, and people lost their shit when that was played. Right after that, she did Focus off Buzz, one of my favorite songs of hers she's ever made, which was great. Love to hear it. And then after Focus, she does a melody of Loki. Of course, Loki was the breakout Niki song, the first big hit of hers, but it's from her first era of music, and she's kind of spoken to not being the biggest fan of her older work. And obviously her sonic genre evolution has been pretty noticeable album to album, as we know. Yet she still kind of played low-key in almost like a jam band setting in a melody sense. So I think that was a fun kind of way to fit it into the show, because obviously people still love the song, but she didn't spend as much time on it as maybe she would have in the past. Pretty clever. I thought Blue Moon off the new album sounded even better live. That was a song that I thought was just fine, just okay on the album, but hearing it live, I really enjoyed it. Too Much of a Good Thing was the opener. I think that's a really lively song to start off the set. Could just say La La Lost You, another big hit of hers, but a slower song. But man, people, again, were super into that song. It's just kind of a sing-along, moment, even though it's a sadder, quieter one. Same thing with Oceans and Engines. The end of the show, I kind of had a sense of where it was going. We have High School in Jakarta, which is probably the biggest, most lively song she plays in terms of call and response, lyrics with the crowd. Super fun to be with that. But she's bouncing around. The band is jamming out. It's fun, making that song, which is a big song, I love. It was in my top 10, 2 years ago. Love that song. But making it even more lively when performing it was super cool. And then after that, she does Tsunami, which I wasn't expecting. And then the very last song is Buzz off the new album, the title track, which is great. What that means, though, is that Niki did not perform every summertime, at least when I saw her. That was a pretty intentional decision because that's also a big hit of hers. And it's also not that old, so I was kind of curious why she wouldn't have included it. Because people love that song. It's super lively too. It's it's not it's an immature written song or anything like that. That was one of my top 10 songs as well when it came out. 2021. Maybe the fact that that's a song that got buried on the Shang-Chi soundtrack has something to do with it. Like the fact that she doesn't feel full ownership of it or something. I'm not sure. I was just surprised not to hear it. Nonetheless, shout out Nikki. I think she was great live. If there's like one note I have, this is not a criticism at all, but the fact that it was only night 2 of the tour, you could kind of tell her like banter with the crowd in between songs wasn't super rehearsed. She's kind of just going off the cuff, but it's fine. It's genuine. She's a great live performer. She switched her guitar like a million times. I counted at least 3 different guitars she used. There might have been more. I couldn't quite tell the difference between all the electric guitars, but that was fun. Also, as a vocalist live, I think she does a really good job. She's pretty adept at staying within her range. She's not like Ariana Grande of singers or anything like that. She's not this like super powerful voice, but she very much knows how to sing her songs live, and that's just a great sign of a great performer. Also, I was a bit surprised that this show was not sold out despite being on a weekend. I'm not sure what was up with that. Like, even college is in session, so the people are around, but like there was a lot of, it's probably like 2/3 full. I was a bit surprised, but it's also a big venue. These are like the biggest venues she's playing, so I'm sure there'll be some variability of that as she, tours around. Certain shows will be, denser than others. Nonetheless, big success for her. This is going to be a massive tour off her biggest album to date as well. And I'm sure given the length of this tour, we're probably not going to get an album until 2026, I would imagine, because she's going to be so busy with this tour and perhaps writing new music along the way. But yeah, if you've seen the Buzz Tour, you're looking forward to seeing it, let me know what you like most about it. Again, check out my review of Niki's Buzz as well as her past albums on the channel. And for more concert reviews, more music reviews, subscribe. I'll see you next time.